Invincible Divine Dragons Cultivation System Chapter 1, Start the Game. Chapter 1 begins with Jackie Chan. Booming. Oh. The rain in early August fell like a granule to the ground, and dense raindrops could splash on the ground. One or two students on the quiet campus rushed toward the dormitory building with an umbrella. On the campus next to the pavilion lake, a student sat by the lake, and the rain hit him ruthlessly. In just a few seconds, the student's body was soaked in rain. Oh, poor. The teenager looked pale and looked at the reflection of the lake being scattered by the rain, and his heart was awkward. Why is God so unfair? There was a hint of mockery on the boy's face. The young man is called Wang Xian. A freshman student at Jiangxing University, after the second year of school, was a child with his grandmother. When her grandmother died a few years ago, only Wang Xian and her sister Wang Qing could live together. Both of them are very clever. Wang Xian was admitted to a well-known university, Jiangxing University, and his sister was admitted to Jiangxing University this year. He has a lovely younger sister. In addition, he also has a like-minded female friend. Although they have no certain relationship, they are better than couples. Even if he wants to take a break to work to feed him and his sister, he is still very satisfied. But just yesterday, I have been working outside with him. The girls who have been very close to each other have been better off with a man who drives a luxury car. Yesterday, the girls said coldly to him, "I am fed up with this kind of poor life, I want to pursue a new life." He also clearly remembered that the sneer, sarcasm, and disdain of the man's mouth were leaving her body directly. Reality, money, ha, ha. Wang Xian's face showed a mocking look, staring at the lake in front, and the rain fell on him as if he had no feeling. Hey! When the sound of the mobile phone sounded, Wang Xian took out the mobile phone and saw the information sent by his sister. His face showed a faint smile. Great Tai, I am a Gu Tianla, I am the West Dregs, the Blue Moon, the new version of the ship that I have not played in the media, I need to experience the 3 clocks, I will do the same, I love the game. However, when he just turned on the phone, the raindrops fell on the screen, an advertisement popped out, and the sound was very loud. This broken mobile phone. Wang Xian's face showed bitterness. He used to break the phone and sent advertisements. He pressed it with his hand. The advertisement of the slag was just cleared, and the result popped up again. The beginning is Jackie Chan, and the advanced universe travels in the late stage. Do you even bully me? Wang Xian held the phone tightly. Boom! A thunderous sound suddenly came, and Wang Xian felt his hands numb. What happened? He was numb and his face was horrified. Hey! A silver-white lightning fell into his hands without warning. Wang Xian was a stiff body and was planted into the lake. The beginning is Jackie Chan, and the advanced universe travels in the late stage. The dilapidated mobile phone in his hand uttered the voice of advertising, and the hard body of Wang Xian found the screen of the mobile phone. An image of a dragon appeared in the phone, and the dragon made a silent roar and directly drilled the phone. That's right, it's incredible to get out of the phone. Wang Xian saw a slap-sized dragon, and went straight into his mind. The beginning will be Jackie Chan. A voice suddenly appeared in his mind, and Wang Xian was shocked to see the picture that appeared in his mind. Name, Wang Xian. Race, Terran, can be dragon. Level 1. Dragon, 1/1000. Shentong, rule the aquarium that rules below its own level. Phagocytic organisms, phagocytic extracts. Gongfa, Shenlong. What is this? What is in my mind? Wang Xian looked at the sudden appearance in his mind, but at this time, he suddenly found that himself in the water could breathe. I can breathe in the water and even talk, this. Wang Xian's eyes widened, and he felt that he was even more comfortable in the water than on land. What does it mean to be a dragon? Can I become a dragon? Wang Xian looked at the picture in his mind and muttered in amazement. The beginning becomes a dragon, and the host can become a dragon. A sudden sound appeared in my mind. Wang Xianmu was stunned and said incredulously, I can really become a dragon and become a dragon. Oh. At this moment, Wang Xian found that his body seemed to have undergone tremendous changes, and he shook his body slightly. This. Wang Xian felt that he had become a long strip of creatures. He lowered his head slightly and saw that he had 4 claws, and each paw had 9 fingers. The claws are like eagle claws, and each palm is like a tiger's paw. It has scales of fish. Really is a dragon. Wang Xian's big eyes, the corner is like a deer, the head is like a camel, the eyes are like a rabbit, the item is like a snake, the belly is like a dragonfly, the scale is like a fish, the claw is like an eagle, the palm is like a tiger, the ear is like a cow. But the Chinese legend is the dragon. He moved slightly and easily walked 7 or 8 meters away. Dragon. Wang Xian's heart vibrates, but now I seem to have only the size of a palm. He saw a small fish swimming next to him, and a message appeared in his mind. Small white fish, level 0. Extractable dragon gas, 0.001. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment, his body shape, and his mouth opened quickly. Devouring. The little white strip did not react to the reaction, and was directly swallowed into the belly by Wang Xian. Increase 0.001 dragon gas. A hint appeared in my mind that Wang Xian's body was stopped. I can become a dragon, can I become a person again? Wang Xian asked. Yes. The sound in my mind sounded. What is the use of the dragon? Wang Xian flashed a glimmer of light in his eyes and asked. Dragon can be used to upgrade the level, which can be used to condense the magical powers and can be used to transform the aquarium. Concise the magical power. What does it mean to transform the aquarium? Wang Xian immediately asked. The dragon is one of the strongest creatures in the universe. The power of the dragon is in the dragon. The dragon can transform itself to concise, and the dragon is in the middle of the dragon. Dragons change. Wang Xian thought that he had a practice, and his heart moved. The dragon is changing. Just then, there was a majestic voice in his mind, the voice was like awe, and the voice was like a prison. Immediately, a strip of dragons hovered in his mind. There is a flame-red dragon with a flame of fire. There is a frosty dragon with a full body frost. There is a green dragon with full body color and endless vitality. There is a black dragon with a black flame in the whole body. There are wings and dragons carrying hurricanes. All kinds of dragons hovered, and finally the condensed dragons became 3 large letters with exuberance. This book tells the story of a young dragon god, a story of a small person who is comfortable with the city and hiring the sea after becoming a dragon. Please follow the protagonist, from a small dragon to become the peerless dragon of the transverse universe. End of this chapter. Invincible Divine Dragons Cultivation System Chapter 2, Shenlong. Chapter 2. Is this the dragon? Is it strong? Wang Xian feels all kinds of dragons, the momentum of the world, the eyes full of shock. The original dragon is used like this. For a long time, Wang Xian slowly breathed a sigh of relief, and his eyes showed a hint of excitement. The practice of the dragon and the dragon is the method of cultivation of the dragon, and it is still the most powerful method of cultivation. Shenlong has a method of condensing dragons and has the method of using dragons. Dragon gas can make him have a magical power, a frosty magic, a wind power, and a variety of magical powers. According to the Shenlong change, the dragon is the highest level of energy, it can convert low-level energy. The low-level energy is like gold and wood fire, and the dragon can strengthen the body. In addition, the dragon has a powerful energy, which is to transform the aquarium. Each dragon has its own dragon palace, and it has its own shrimp and crab. Dragon gas can make ordinary aquarium creatures have the power of evolution and have strong strength. Haha, I didn't think of it, I didn't think that I had such a destiny. Wang Xian's face was excited and turned into a dragon. His illness was automatically expelled. I became a dragon. When I am strong, I can turn my hand over the clouds and become the most powerful existence in the world, and build the most powerful dragon palace. Wang Xian swayed his body and his heart was full of pride. The dragon is strong, my body will be strong, and now I will absorb some dragons. Wang Xian thought in his heart that there are 2 ways to absorb dragon gas, one is to devour other creatures, to condense the dragon, and the second is to condense the dragon in accordance with the method of changing dragons. First swallow the surrounding creatures. Wang Xian's eyes are shining. The school's pavilion has a lot of fish in the lake. Because the water is 2 or 3 meters deep, it is not a huge fish, so he does not have to worry about encountering powerful creatures. Wang Xian swayed his body and walked straight into the lake. There is a small grass carp there. Wang Xian saw a grass carp of the same size as him. He walked straight and walked straight. Grass carp, 0. Extractable dragon gas, 0.05. Swallowing. Wang Xian swims in the past, opens his mouth and directly devours the grass carp that it can't find, and gets a dragon of 0.05. Carry on. Wang Xian feels very novel, swinging his body and madly swallowing around. Grass carp, squid, lobster, loach. A strip of fish is 0 grade, even if the 3-4 pound squid is 0 grade. Wang Xian's engulfing is very powerful. One bite, even if it is twice as big as his fish, it will become smaller and enter his belly. Later, he first controlled all the fish in one position and then swallowed in the madness. The majestic heavy rain is still going on, and in the middle of the school's lake, there are 700 or 800 fish. A golden figure swallowed quickly. Roar! A faint dragon came. The sound of the dragon was very small, not even as loud as the rain, but this dragon was full of endless majesty. The fish that swallowed the entire lake only increased by 20 points, but it was really rare. Half an hour later, the Golden King of the Fairy traveled to the lake. He looked around and found that there was no one. When he saw his own clothes by the lake, his heart moved and the naked king appeared. At this time, Wang Xian, a flash of golden light flashed through his body, and his eyes flashed through the noble dragon. The naked body looks very strong and full of muscles. Hurry and wear clothes and ran. Wang Xian did not have the heart to watch his changing body, and quickly picked up the clothes in the water and quickly put it on. By the way, he picked up the phone in the water and he ran to the dormitory. Bump. Wang Xian was drenched and came to the dormitory to close the door with a smile on his face. Now, the power seems to be several times larger than before, and I feel that my body is much better than before. Wang Xian clenched his fist tightly, then looked at the wet clothes, took it off, and changed his dry clothes. It's so handsome. Standing in front of the mirror, Wang Xian looked at himself and showed narcissism on his face. During the summer vacation, there were not many people in the entire dormitory, and there was only one person in the dormitory. Now my level is still too low, and I have to practice well in the future, and strive to become a powerful dragon as soon as possible. Wang Xian clenched his fist and looked at his attributes. Name, Wang Xian. Race, Terran, can be dragon. Level 1. Dragon, 20/1000. Shentong, rule the aquarium that rules below its own level. Phagocytic organisms, phagocytic extracts. Gongfa, Shenlong. 20 dragons do not seem to be much use, and strive to upgrade to 2 levels as soon as possible. Wang Xian's heart is dark. Oh. And at this moment, Wang Xian suddenly found that his mobile phone rang again. The trough, the phone that fell into the lake is still not bad. Wang Xian's face was amazed. He immediately walked over and picked up his mobile phone to see the information sent by his sister. Unlocking the phone lock, this time there is no advertisement for slag. Brother, my work today is finished. I am shopping with Xiaomi. I earned 200 yuan for my tutor today. Brother, I will buy you a dress. Brother, why don't you call back my information and call me? Brother, what are you doing, still working? I will get back to me immediately after receiving my information. Wang Xian saw 7 or 8 messages from her sister, and her face smiled. She immediately replied, Brother is busy, sister, you should go shopping first. If you want to buy anything, you will buy it. Brother has already collected the tuition for you. Don't worry about living expenses. There is still a month when my sister is at Jiangqing University with myself. I can see if she can surprise her before her sister arrives. Wang Xian thought of her lovely sister, and her heart was soft. Now I can become a dragon, see if there is any way to make money, or go to the ocean and catch fish. Wang Xian thought in mind, thinking of the girl, and firmly in his eyes, in the future, you must become a rich person. Only when you have the money and strength can you get what you want. He used to work as a temporary worker and earned about 100 yuan a day. During the summer vacation, he found a good job and earned $4,000 in 20 days. Now he has more than 8,000 yuan in his hands. His and his sister's tuition is completely enough, but the living expenses are not enough. His sister is also sensible enough to start working in the summer, and finding a tutoring job in his hometown is not bad. In the future, if you enter the university, you must not let your sister suffer. Let him be a little princess. Wang Xian decided that he must not let his sister use the time of school to work as he did before. Oh! It's so hungry, it's useless to eat so many fish. At this time, Wang Xian felt a hungry stomach and took the umbrella and walked outside. End of this chapter. Invincible Divine Dragons Cultivation System Chapter 3, Million Dragon Fish. Chapter 3 Million Dragon Fish. During the summer vacation, the entire school was very quiet and there were not many students staying in the school. The school cafeteria is also not open, and Wang Xian usually goes outside to eat. However, Jiangqing University is not like other universities in some desolate places in the suburbs. Jiangqing University is located in Jiangqing University City, and Jiangqing University City has a total of 5 schools, including 3 universities and 3 vocational colleges. It is very prosperous around Jiangqing University. There is an ancient street here. It is said that it is an ancient street. In fact, it is brand new, just an antique building. Ancient Street is the most prosperous street in Jiangqing University City. It is home to students from 6 schools. There are also several high-end neighborhoods. Even during the summer vacation, there are many people here. But today's heavy rain, there are not many people on the street. Wang Xian looked at the restaurants around him, go eat well. In the past, he was thrifty for a meal of up to $15, and even many times he was eating instant noodles. But today I got the chance, but now I have no money, but he has already thought of ways to make money, and it is a luxury. He looked at the restaurants around him and his eyes fell on a restaurant called Yipinga Seafood. Yipin Pavilion is the most expensive restaurant on the street. He listened to the roommates in the dormitory and said that when they eat here, they will have $600 or $700. The per capita consumption of $300 or $400 is definitely the price he could not match. But the food here is also the best to eat on this street. Just go here. Wang Xian decided to eat a good meal. Welcome. 2 welcome guests at the door stunned. Sir, put your umbrella here. A crisp voice came, and the welcome guest on the right said to him. Okay. Wang Xian nodded. Hey. However, when he looked up at the girl, his face looked surprised. The girl saw him staring at himself and smiled politely. Guan Shuqing turned out to be the famous beauty in the department. Wang Xian slowed down. The girl who is welcoming in front of her, is a girl of their class. A very beautiful, even in the entire school is also one of the best girls, Guan Shuqing. However, the two are not in a class, and the other party does not know him as a nameless pawn. Guan Shuqing has many people in the school to pursue her. The more sensational one is that a rich second generation opened a Ferrari and filled the flowers in the rear compartment, but it was eventually rejected by Guan Shu. I didn't expect Guan Shu to work during the summer vacation. Wang Xian thought in mind that a girl like her, if she wants money, would be much easier, just like she, now. But this is why many people like to close their feelings. Wang Xian shook his head slightly. He didn't gossip about the things in the school, so he didn't know the situation. Several people. A waiter came over and asked him. 1. Mr. Please. The waiter took him to the inside. Wang Xian looked around and there were many people eating. The business here is very good. When I came to a seat inside, Wang Xian looked at the food on the menu. There is still a double-headed abalone worth 200,000, which is not a product. Wang Xian looked at the price on the food. There are expensive double-headed abalones, sashimi of $700 or $800, and caviar of several $1,000s. There are also 3 or 4 pounds of 4 or 5 pounds of Australian dragon, worth nearly $2,000. It's really expensive. Wang Xian slightly screamed. He ordered oysters and 2 cheap dishes, 1 soup, a total of more than $200. "Mister, please wait a moment, the food will come up," said the beauty waiter sweetly. "Well." Wang Xian nodded. The service of the hotel is not the same, even the waiters are young and beautiful. Soon the food was picked up, and Wang Xian opened his face with excitement. Some instant noodles of braised beef, tomato beef, spicy beef, and old sauerkraut had already eaten quickly. "Today, I can finally improve my food. It is." After a meal, Wang Xian couldn't help but hit a full meal and drank a few mouthfuls of tea on the table. "The food is really good. After I have money, I will bring my sister to eat every day," Wang Xian said in his heart. "Attendant, check out." Wang Xian greeted him. Before paying more than 200 yuan for the meal, this meal was equivalent to his previous week's meals. After paying the money, I left with a smile. Snapped. What? However, when he got up, he heard the position of the door, a broken sound and a panicked scream. Wang Xian took a moment and continued to walk outside without paying attention. When he got out of the door, he saw a fish tank about 1.8 meters on the ground falling to the ground. There were 3 fish on the ground and some water. A middle-aged hurriedly shouted, "Hurry up and get some water, hurry, don't have anything, don't have anything." As I said, the middle-aged man walked to the side of the 3 fish. 2 of the fish were fine, but the glass with a fish without a fish tank was a little bit depressed. "Boss, I am sorry, I have not seen it before." A uniformed restaurant next door greeted the guest, and his face was pale and apologized. "Don't say sorry to me, if the arowana is fine, if you have something to sell you can't afford it." The middle-aged boss angered and yelled at the welcoming woman. The welcoming woman's face was white and her eyes were reddish. "Hey, Li, this is how to get it, how these 3 dragon fish fell to the ground." At this time, an old man came over and said with amazement. General Li looked up and looked at the old man. He quickly said, "Old Zhao, when the worker moved, he was accidentally touched by a little girl. As a result, he fell to the ground. Come and see the 3 fish. The 3 arowanas are the 3 old kings, and the 3 arowanas are worth 5 or 6 million. Wang Laosher is like a baby. How can I let Li always borrow it?" Lao Zhao quickly walked over and squatted on the ground, checking 3 articles. Arowana. At this time, the staff of several hotels got a large basin with water in it. Zhao Lao also began to check the condition of the 3 arowanas. The female welcoming guest standing on the side heard the old man's words, and his face was white again. When Wang Xian heard the old man's words, he was also embarrassed. 3 fishes worth 5 or 6 million. 3 dragon fish are worth 5 or 6 million. Isn't it worth 1 or 2 million? Wang Xian was surprised. He looked at the welcoming guest and immediately frowned. It's a good mood. End of this chapter. Invincible Divine Dragons Cultivation System Chapter 4, Dragon Gas. Chapter 4 Long Cheesy Fish. These 2 arowanas have no problems, but this one is probably a problem. In Ipin Pavilion, Lao Zhao frowned at the wilting arowana and touched his body. This red arowana should fall more heavily when it falls, and then it is afraid. Lao Zhao's words were not finished, but the meaning was very obvious and it might not last long. Lao Zhao's words also made Li's face very embarrassed and gloomy. I asked Wang Lao to borrow a few days to prepare to improve the feng shui in the store. I didn't expect it. General Li said, looking at the welcome woman at the hotel. The millions of arowanas have been knocked out and killed, and it's too careless. Yes, it is estimated that the welcoming guests did not pay attention to the few guys who were carrying them. It was really careless. At this time, the customers gathered around, some unfortunately pointed to the arowana, and some pointed to the side of the Shu Shuqing introduced to the newcomers. Guan Shuqing has been bowing his head, tears falling, a pitiful look. What are you crying? I am crying now, it is me, 1 or 2 million red arowanas, let you die. Li's anger looked like he's walking in front of Guan Shuqing's face, pointing his finger at her head and screaming in anger. Guan Shuqing lowered his head and his body trembled. He slowly raised his head and revealed a sullen face. Li, I am not deliberate, I really didn't mean it. Not intentional. 1 or 2 million things smashed you and said that it was not intentional. Ah. Can you afford it? In the anger, Li grabbed the clothes of Guan Shuqing and his face was awkward. Hey, this gentleman. At this time, Wang Xian, standing on the side, saw that Li had some irrational actions, and some could not stand it. This girl is not deliberately touched. Besides, is this arowana still not dead? Who is your kid? Nosy, if you manage this business, you will pay her the money. When General Li heard the words of Wang Xian, he immediately turned his head and stared at him. When Wang Xian heard the words of General Li, she frowned slightly. She looked at the side of Guan Shuqing, and her heart moved, looking at the red arowana. Arowana, level 0. Extractable dragon gas, 1. It is possible to extract a little dragon, it is worth 1 million or 2 arowana. Wang Xian heart secretly, think of the role of dragon gas to look at Li, a big man does not embarrass a little girl, I am sure to healed. You are sure? Li always looked at him without trust. Little brother, this is 1 or 2 million red arowana, are you sure you can cure it? Zhao looked at him with some confusion. Look at it. Chu Xian did not say much, because he did not have 100% confidence, went directly to the front of the red arowana. If you are not sure, don't touch it. General Li's face was embarrassed and warned Wang Xian. Do not try to know. Wang Xian too did not lift up and said a word, reaching out to the dragon fish to touch. Li always calmed his face, and he did not stop it. The young man in front of him was so confident that he might be a glimmer of hope. Dragon. In his heart, in accordance with the method of transforming the aquarium by the dragon, a dragon gas directly enters the body of the arowana. Miraculously, Wang Xian was able to sense all the internal structures of the arowana, and he found that he could transform the arowana through the dragon. Sure enough. Wang Luan's face showed a hint of surprise. He found that there was a little bit of congestion inside the red arowana, which was also the cause of the bruise that caused it to languish. Dragon is nourishing. The golden dragon passed, and the blood in his body disappeared. He took back the dragon and found that he only consumed a little bit of dragon. Bump. At this time, the red arowana, which was put into the pot and just a little wilting, swayed his body, which seemed to be very exciting. Wang Luan smiled on his face and his fingers shook in front of this red arowana. The red arowana is happy to follow its fingers. Wang Luan pinched the body of the red arowana. Wow, it's amazing, it's better. It doesn't look like a problem, it seems to be really good. A group of people around saw the red arowana swimming in the water, his face with a surprised look, looking at Wang Xian with a strange face. Zhao Lao, who was next to him, was also horrified and carefully examined the red arowana. He said with a voice, really good. Of course there is no problem, but there is some blood in the body, and a small problem. Wang Xian stood up and clapped his hands, and said to Li, who was on the side, look, there is no problem at all. Li always had a meal and ran quickly and stared at the red arowana. Old Zhao, really good. He was somewhat uncertain looking at the old man. There should be no problem. Lao Zhao nodded. It's fine if nothing happens. General Li sighed with relief, this little brother, thank you very much, thank you. No, I hope that Li will not be a villain girl. Wang Xian waved his hand. No, thank you little brother, come, eat and go, this is my restaurant, have a meal. No, I just ate, the food at the Li Hotel is very good. Wang Xian shook her head and looked at Guan Shuqing on the side and found that she also looked at herself. He smiled at her and said to Li, he also left. Guan Shuqing looked gratefully at Wang Xian's figure and hesitated to chase it, but he was stopped by the manager. Arowana, ornamental fish. Wang Xian walked out of Yipin Pavilion and held a slight contemplation on his umbrella. The 3 or 2 million arowanas gave him some inspiration. Maybe I know how to make money quickly. Wang Xian mouth slightly tilted up, holding the umbrella toward the inside position. After walking about 100 meters, he looked at a shop on the left. Aquarium shop. The aquarium is a shop selling fish tanks and ornamental fish. Wang Xian walked into the store, and a middle-aged two young waitresses stood inside and there were no other guests. A handsome guy sells a fish tank to watch a fish. A waitress smiled as he entered the door. Look at it. Wang Xian smiled at her. Okay, then you can take a look. The waitress didn't care if he might not buy it and said to him with a smile. Grass tank, sea tank, here is the ornamental fish. The entire aquarium is very large, with grass tanks, sea tanks and ornamental fish. The grass tanks are mainly set, with few fish inside, while ornamental fish are pure fish. There are the most common goldfish, parrotfish, angelfish, and valuable arowana and koi. End of this chapter. Invincible Divine Dragon's Cultivation System Chapter 5, Dragon Gas Transformation. Chapter 5 Long Gas Transformation. The most expensive koi is worth 150,000, and there is another 100,000 of the most expensive arowana. Wang Xian looked at a fish in the aquarium store. The two most expensive fish in the aquarium were also hundreds of thousands. He looked at the fish and found that they were all zero order. The dragon fish and the koi had more dragons. These arowanas and koi in the water tank are really beautiful. The dragon scales on the arowana are golden, very aggressive, with long whiskers. The bright stripes of the koi swim in the aquarium, like a living art. Beauty, your dragonfish koi here is so expensive. Wang Xian smiled and yelled at the waiter next to him. Is this still expensive? You have not seen millions of koi and millions of arowanas. The price here is only moderate, the waiter said with a smile. When Wang Xian heard the waiter answer, he immediately asked, how do you distinguish between beauty, koi and arowana? Arowana is more precious with red dragon arowana. The red dragon fish is more precious with blood red dragons, and the price of koi is higher, especially the koi of the island country. The color is more beautiful and the value is several million. The waiter smiled and explained to him. Wang Xian nodded thoughtfully and asked, if you want to buy millions of koi and arowana, go to Jiangqing where to buy several million koi arowanas. Then you can go to the Haicheng flower and bird market, but hundreds of koi arowanas are not common, and few people buy such expensive ornamental fish, and hundreds of thousands of them are sold. The beauty waiter continued. Okay, thank you. Wang Xian smiled and nodded. He took out his mobile phone and searched for it briefly. Sure enough, as the waiter said, but the aquarium koi, which is worth millions, is not so easy to sell, and hundreds of thousands of people buy it. Wang Xian thought in his heart and smiled at the waiter, then left directly. It is noon now, go to the flower and bird market to see. Wang Xian walked out of the aquarium store and took a car to the flower and bird market. The flower and bird market is located in the Haidong district of Jiangcheng, not too far from him. 20 minutes by car, the car parked at the door of the flower and bird market. Jiangcheng Flower and Bird Market is a relatively large market. As a top second-tier city, Jiangcheng has a lot of rich people. Wang Xian walked inside and followed the instructions to walk towards the aquarium fish area. In the middle, there were pets for sale. He saw a pet dog with a price of 50,000. A pet dog can be raised for more than 10 years, and a dragon fish koi can be bred for a lifetime. Some ornamental fish are expensive for no reason. The flower and bird market in Jiangcheng is very well decorated, the road is wide and clean, and there is a room on both sides. Because of the rain today, there are not many pedestrians. Wang Xian went to the area where the aquarium ornamental fish and browsed the ornamental fish shop of a family. There will be a goldfish show tomorrow, and there will probably be many people coming to the event. It will also attract people from other cities. It will bring a lot of popularity. Clean it today. Goldfish Show. Is it a joint exhibition organized by Jinhua Goldfish Farm and Longlian Goldfish Farm and several other large goldfish farms? Yes, there will be a lot of customers coming to an exhibition at several goldfish farms. After all, these goldfish farms have some strength in China. I don't know what goldfish will be there tomorrow. Will there be the best goldfish in Juding Zi Luopao? This is hard to say, but with the strength of several large farms, Juding Zi Luopao should be able to come out. When Wang Xian walked into an ornamental fish shop, he heard that the two people were chatting. He gave a slight glimpse. Goldfish. Goldfish belong to the most common ornamental fish, but don't think that goldfish is very common. The most expensive goldfish can sell tens of thousands of dollars. Even the mouth of the Juding violet robe can be sold to think twice. It is called the world's most expensive goldfish. If tomorrow is the goldfish show. He raised his eyebrows and looked at some goldfish in the store. His heart moved. Boss, give me some goldfish. What goldfish do you look at? I can be some of the best goldfish here, not the ones that can be compared. The middle-aged boss heard the voice of Wang Xian and said with a smile. Yeah. Wang Xian nodded and looked at the goldfish inside. He found that the goldfish in his store was not cheap, 45, and there were hundreds of goldfish. Boss, give me 2 of this, 3 of this, 3 of this. Wang Xian looked at the color of several goldfish and said. Okay, $45, little brother, I will send you a fish tank. The boss said with a smile. Thank you. Wang Xian smiled and gave the boss $450. It's really expensive, but if it's successful, it will cost thousands of times. Wang Xian blinked and hugged 8 goldfish toward the outside. I drove to the school and in the car, Wang Xian looked for a lot of information about goldfish. After his afternoon investigation, the value of koi is the highest, and the dragon fish is second. He wanted to transform some dragon fish to sell, but since there is a goldfish exhibition tomorrow, he broke all his plans. Although the value of the arowana is high, the shape of the arowana is 10 times larger than that of the goldfish, and the consumption of the dragon is relatively high. He currently has less dragon gas, and the value of the goldfish is not low. Tomorrow's goldfish exhibition, there must be buyers. You can use the dragon to transform a few high-value goldfish. Wang Xian's heart was in the dark, holding the goldfish and holding the umbrella toward the dormitory. The rain is still very big, and there are only a few students in the school on the road. That seems to be him. When she first entered the school gate, Guan Shuqing held an umbrella and watched the figure walking quickly from her front. She looked at the umbrella and the clothes on her body, and the eyes were shining. Guan Shuqing hesitated, and walked quickly, the classmate in front. Well? Wang Xian heard the voice coming from behind and turned his head in confusion. It's really him. Guan Shuqing saw Wang Xian's face and his face showed surprise. It's really you, thank you today. Guan Shuqing came over and said to him with gratitude. Guan Shuqing. Wang Xian slightly stunned and smiled and nodded. Do you know me? Guan Shuqing heard him call his name and asked in surprise. We are famous for the 16 beautiful women, how can I not know? Wang Xian smiled at her. End of this chapter. Invincible Divine Dragons Cultivation System Chapter 6, Juding Violet Robe. Chapter 6 Juding Purple Robe. You are also level 16. Which department are you? On the small road of the school, Guan Shuqing blinked and looked at the boy in front of him. The height of 1 meter and 7 is not very high, but the whole person has a special temperament, and the firm face has a calmness that the students do not have. She is grateful to the boys who helped me at noon today. Without this boy, she really can't imagine the consequences. I am a business administration, my name is Wang Xian. Wang Xian said with a smile. Business management, our class is very close, have you not returned home this summer? Guan Shuqing continued, it is really thanks to you at noon today, or I really don't know how to be good. No thanks, I am also handy. Wang Xian smiled and said, I did not go back in the summer vacation, looking for a summer vacation outside. Yes, that's really clever, but unfortunately, I am now quit by the boss. Guan Shuqing sighed slightly. Oh. Wang Xian looked at her and smiled, my dormitory is here, I have time to talk. Wang Xian said that she waved her hand to her. His current thoughts have always been on the top of the fish. He always thought about making money, and he thought about chatting with beautiful women. Wang Xian's direct walk away made Guan Shu's feelings slightly squint, and he looked at his figure with some mistakes. You. What? Wang Xian asked her as she said what she wanted to say. I can add your WeChat, today's things are thanks to you, have the opportunity to invite you to dinner. Guan Shuqing said. Well, okay. Wang Xian nodded, but looked at the fish tank and umbrella in his hand and smiled bitterly. The phone is in the pocket, I will tell you the number and add it. Well, okay. Guan Shu nodded, took out the phone and added Wang Xian's WeChat. Okay, don't delay you, goodbye. Guan Shu sent a friend's request and waved at him. Goodbye. Wang Xian nodded and walked quickly toward the dormitory. Don't I have any charm now? Guan Shuqing looked at Wang Xian's back and touched his face with some sorrow. If you help me a big deal, maybe, it's really unique. Boy, does he have a girlfriend? Guan Shu said in a muttering voice, hesitated to take out the mobile phone and gave her a message in the high school class of business administration. Xiaoya, is there a boy named Wang Xian in your class? Wang Xian. Yes. What happened? Is this our class Wang Xian chasing you? No, he is a very introverted boy. About a few tens of seconds, the message came across. Introverted? Guan Shuqing saw Xiaoya replying to the information and nodded thoughtfully, replied, No, this boy helped me a lot today. I want to ask, this King Xian is somewhat unique. Ah. Helped you a big job. I said the goddess of relief, you don't want to be with you. Wang Xian I know a little bit, my boyfriend and him a dormitory, listen to my boyfriend, he family conditions are very poor. There is only one sister. When I go to school, I have to earn not only my own living expenses, but also my sister. I have not participated in group activities in the school for a year. Even the activities in their dormitory have not participated in several times. Poor. Poor. Guan Shuqing saw Xiaoya's reply slightly confusing. Today he went to Yipinga to eat. Is there a thing to go to Yiping Pavilion? Guan Shu was puzzled and then replied, Okay, I know, listening to you saying this boy is quite good. My goddess of comfort, you won't really look at him. You have to think twice. Don't think about it, I want to learn now. Wang Xian did not know that the goddess of the school was inquiring about herself. At this time, he came to the dormitory and locked the room, staring excitedly at the 8 goldfish in the fish tank. I don't know if the consumption is big. Wang Xian picked up a goldfish, and his heart was dark. In his heart, the dragon gas directly entered the body of the black and white goldfish. This goldfish is called Lanshou, $120, which is relatively expensive. He is preparing to transform the most valuable goldfish in the goldfish, so he is the goldfish that is similar to the color of the purple top. Dragon gas entered the body of the goldfish, and a piece of control came. Wang Xian's face is smiling, and the dragons have some absolute control over the aquarium. The dragon is able to make the aquarium evolve. He took out his mobile phone and adapted it to the picture of Zhu Dingzi Luohong. Okay. Wang Xian saw the modified Zhu Dingzi Luo robe, his face showing an excited look. The Zhu Dingzi Luo Pao, which has been transformed by the dragon, is much more beautiful than the one in the picture. And it exudes an extravagance in its body, just like a nobleman. In addition, this Zhu Dingzi Luo robe looks very smart, even in the top of the Zhu Dingzi Luo robe, is also the top. Too beautiful, but the transformation of a Zhuding violet robe actually consumes 2 points of dragon gas. This consumption is somewhat high. If you transform a large arowana and a koi, you need at least 20 or 30 dragons. Wang Xian frowned slightly. At present, he swallowed up a few thousand pounds of fish in the entire lake of the school before he was promoted to 20 dragons. At noon, he spent a total of 19 when he helped Guan Shiqing. First make a little money and say that the dragon can go to the lake and sea to devour other fish to coagulate, or you can cultivate and condense yourself. Wang Xian's heart is secret, money is still very important to him. Continue to use the dragon gas to transform, and soon a piece of Zhuding purple robe goldfish was rebuilt. Looking at the agile Zhu top violet robe in the fish tank, his face showed an excited look. 8 goldfish. If you follow the current market price, it is more than 2 million. Wang Xian's eyes flashed through the light. If he could get more than 2 million, then he wouldn't have to work anymore, and he could let his sister enjoy college life. Name, Wang Xian. Race, Terran, can be dragon. Level 1. Dragon, 3/1000. Shentong, rule the aquarium that rules below its own level. Phagocytic organisms, phagocytic extracts. Gongfa, Shenlong. Dragon gas consumes 16 points, and I feel that I am obviously weak. I have to practice well and strive to raise the level to 2 levels, become a real dragon and establish my own dragon palace. Wang Xian looked at his own information and flashed a glimmer of light in his eyes. He jumped to his bed and immediately sat on it. Shenlong changed, leading the dragon into the body. Travel for 9 days. End of this chapter. Invincible Divine Dragons Cultivation System Chapter 7, Car Accident. Chapter 7 Car Accident. One night's cultivation has increased by 20 points, which is not bad. The next morning, Wang Xian looked at the dragon that he had increased overnight, and his eyes flashed a glimmer of light. At this rate, it takes 50 days to upgrade to 2 levels. According to the change of the dragon, only when the breakthrough of the 9 can achieve the first change of the dragon. Shenlong became the first change he was able to travel the ocean and fly. Only when entering the first change, is it a dragon, a young dragon. The road is still far away. After earning some money, go to the ocean yourself. Wang Xian thought in his heart, washing quickly. Go on the electric car riding the sea. Wang Xian thought about it and picked up the electric car key that the sea gave him before the summer vacation. Wang Dao is the best friend of Wang Xian. It may be because of the surname of Wang, the relationship between the two is very good. Wang Dahai is a native. He knows that his family is in poor condition and he often takes care of him. The most funny one is that when the guy learns that Wang Luan is still a virgin, he will take him to take a bath. The result was rejected by Wang Xian without words. Wang Dahai was a little fat and lazy. Other students were buying bicycles. He bought an electric car and said that he was too lazy. Walk downstairs with a fish tank. The rain has stopped, the sun is hanging high, and the summer after the rain is still refreshing. Wang Xian came to the parking lot and opened the electric car of Wang Dahai. Electric cars are not the kind of small Emma, but rather larger. For a fat man, riding a bicycle must be comfortable. Put the fish tank in the position of the leg, Wang Xian rides the car and rushes toward the flower and bird market. I hope I can sell them all. Wang Xian's face showed a smile. From school riding to the flower and bird market for more than half an hour, he rode very steady and prevented the fish tank from falling. It's coming soon. Wang Xian looked at the front position and found that there are many people in the flower and bird market today. He also found that many foreign license plates came slowly. It seems that there are quite a few people at this goldfish show. Wang Xian speeded up some speed and drove from the side path to the parking place of the flower and bird market. Boom! Boom! Suddenly at this moment, the sound of a roaring locomotive suddenly passed over. As soon as he followed, Wang Xian saw a heavy locomotive rushing from the intersection at a speed of no less than 80. Wang Xian saw 4 heavy locomotives rushing over quickly. Boom! Sorry, I am the first. At this time, he saw that the front of a heavy locomotive quickly braked, the car stopped very smoothly, he laughed and took off the helmet and said. The heavy locomotive behind it also quickly pressed the brakes, and a heavy locomotive stopped. Not good. Wang Xian suddenly saw a heavy locomotive suddenly slipping and did not stop the car. Just after the rain, there was some slip on the road, and the heavy locomotive ran directly toward Wang Xian. Wang Xian's face changed slightly, and he looked at the car that had crashed and hurriedly jumped to the side. Bump! The electric car he sat down was directly hit by 3 or 4 meters, and the heavy locomotive stopped when it hit the electric car. Grass, it slipped. The young man sitting on the heavy locomotive took off his helmet and said it was embarrassing. He walked down the heavy locomotive and looked at his car and found that there were not too many scars. This was a sigh of relief, fortunately, there was no crash. Wang Xian looked at the young man to stop the heavy locomotive and first checked his car. He didn't look at the electric car that he had knocked on, and his face was a little embarrassing. If it is not strengthened by the dragon, he may not be able to escape in time. Well, goldfish. Wang Xian ran quickly and looked at the broken fish tank with embarrassment. At this point, the fish tank has been broken, and the 8 gold-plated purple-robe goldfish in the inside are all on the ground. There were even 2 Zhuding violet robes that were crushed by the car and died directly. 4 of the other articles were also languid, and the scales were dropped, apparently being dropped. Wang Xian's face was embarrassing. He looked at the young man who was like nothing. He calmly walked over. How do you drive? Did you know if you bumped into my car? Well. The young man heard his voice and turned to look at the electric car that fell to the ground. Well, young man, I am sorry, how much is your electric car? I will accompany you. The young man looked at his electric car without paying attention and said with a smile. What's wrong? Didn't it hit people? At this time, the young people who were riding the locomotives came over and asked the youth. Nothing, I smashed an electric car. Don't say, my custom Harley quality is really good. The young man turned his head and said. Wang Xian looked at the young man's disregard, his eyes were cold and he walked toward the youth. I said, is it a loss to damage my things? Well. The youth looked at Wang Xian and said with a smile, compensate, not an electric car, you say, how much? Oh, not only electric cars, but also my goldfish. Wang Xian said coldly. Goldfish? There are goldfish. Let's talk about it, how much is it? When the young man heard his words, he laughed and took out the wallet directly. There were about $5,000 or $6,000 in it. He said that he would throw out all the money, $5,000 or $6,000, enough, let's go. $5,000 or $6,000. Wang Xian looked at the money in his hands, his face was mocking. $5,000 or $6,000 are not enough for a fish tail. Kid, do you want to swear? The young man heard his words and turned his head to stare at him, asking coldly. Why, still want to touch porcelain? At this moment, the 3 young people not far away came over and stared at Wang Xian with disdain. Some people at the entrance of the flower and bird market saw an accident here and some curiously walked over. Kid, don't stare at me like this, your broken electric car, and your broken goldfish, $5,000 or $6,000 or more. The young man looked at Wang Xian staring at him, his face was not happy. He said, you will hold it for you, otherwise you will not get a penny in the end. It seems that the young man riding a heavy locomotive accidentally bumped into the young man riding the electric car. People are fine. If people are okay, they will lose a lot of $5,000 or $6,000. People are fine, but the boy may be dissatisfied. The people riding the heavy locomotives are riding too fast. The roar of the heavy locomotive is too loud. Harry, that heavy locomotive is so cool, this heavy locomotive should be worth a lot. At this time, some people around the village whispered and said. I will send me $5,000 or $6,000. Wang Xian looked at the youth with a sneer, turned to the position of the electric car, and reached out to pick up those Zhuding Zi Luo robe. Seeking a collection for a recommendation ticket, this book is guaranteed to be wonderful. End of this chapter. Invincible Divine Dragons Cultivation System Chapter 8, Goldfish Heavy Duty Locomotive. Chapter 8 Goldfish Heavy Duty Locomotive. Wang Xian put the Zhuding Zi Luo robe on a small piece of glass and walked straight toward the youth. 8 goldfish, I am afraid that you are not enough for this $5,000 or $6,000. I am now calling the police to let the police handle this problem. Wang Xian looked at the youth and said coldly. The young man in front of him is too arrogant and self-righteous. If he comes to apologize to himself, he may not care for him, and he will waste 16 dragons. But he is so proud, Wang Xian naturally will not be used to him, and now he does not know, he gradually has the pride of the dragon. Kid, I think you are looking for something. How much is your broken electric car? How much is the value of your broken goldfish? I am paying you, don't know how to be good. The young man saw him take out his mobile phone and walked cold. Said. Kid, I think you are looking for oops. Several young people behind him came over and 4 people surrounded Wang Xian. Hey, you guys don't move, talk about it. A grandfather next to him saw it with a good heart and shouted, young man, look at how much you lose. These young people are not unreasonable, loss. How much to lose you, don't be greedy. Wang Xian looked at the old man and his eyes fell on the 4 young people beside him. The electric car was damaged, I don't need you to pay, but my goldfish. Wang Xian said, put the 8 shooting violet robes in the broken fish tank on the ground, his face showing a cool color, my goldfish need compensation, a total of 8, shooting zi luo pao, the value of each, you know on the internet. What broke the top of the purple robe, boy, don't give it to lousy, very proud, I tell you, you don't want to get a penny today. The youth looked at Wang Xian's look, cold and cold pointing at him. What? Shooting zi luo pao? However, the old man who advised them was stunned. He looked at the goldfish next to Wang Xian and ran quickly. It's really Zhu Ding Zi Luo Pao, it turned out to be true. The old man ran over and saw the goldfish in the broken fish tank. Some of them distressed and squatted down, the best of the Zhu Ding Zi Luo robe, these 2 should be fine, the young man hastened protect them. Zhu Ding Zi Luo Pao, is it really Zhu Ding Zi Luo? Some people behind him heard the exclamation of the old man, but also walked in the wrong way. It's really a purple robes, but this is a nobleman in the goldfish. It's a pity that it's directly killed. Looking at these appearances is also top-notch in the Zhu Ding Zi Luo gown, at least worth 3 or 400,000. Some people came over, and when they saw the goldfish on the ground, they also exclaimed, and the face was a pity. 3 or 400,000. The young man standing on the side heard the exclamation of the old man and several other people, his face showing a false look, and he stared at the goldfish on the ground with some incredulity. These goldfish are worth 3 or 400,000, he said with shock. Not some. The old man looked up and looked at the youth, it is a piece, a value of 3 or 400,000. According to this appearance, it will not be less than 3,000. The 2 were directly crushed to death. These 4 scales were lost and destroyed. 6 of them are no less than 2 million. A middle-aged watched the goldfish slowly said, Zhu Ding Zi Luo Pao is very difficult. Nurturing, there are now 8 out of 1, but unfortunately, even. The middle-aged said, shaking his head constantly. More and more people are behind us. They are all coming because of today's goldfish show. They are all lovers of goldfish. They naturally know the king of the goldfish and the Zhu Ding Zi Luo. The youth heard a personal sigh, slightly open mouth. Wang Xian looked at the youth and said coldly, I think about this, we still let the police solve it. More than 2 million people have not ran. Today, there is a goldfish exhibition in the flower and bird market. Experts can give a loss price when they come to the appraisal. The old man shook his head, young man, pay attention when riding a bicycle, but unfortunately these goldfish. The young man opened his mouth, and the young man behind him was standing in the wrong place. They did not think that the several goldfish that were killed were worth more than 2 million. The young man saw Wang Xian take out his mobile phone and his face was embarrassed. This time is his full responsibility, the result of the judgment is no doubt, he needs to pay more than 2 million. But if he asked him to take out more than 2 million, how could he come up with it? If this is what the father of his family knows, it will be even worse. This brother, don't call the police. The youth's face changed dramatically, and quickly said to Wang Xian. No alarm can be, compensation. Wang Xian said coldly to him. I. The young man looked embarrassed and looked at the young people behind him. Mountain River, we can give you up to 4 or 500,000, you know. Several young people behind him were helpless and continued, if you ask you. No. The youth immediately shook, and must not let his family know. He looked at Wang Xian and bit his teeth, little brother, I will pay you my heavy locomotive. Heavy locomotive? Wang Xian picked up his eyebrows and looked at the very domineering locomotive. My heavy locomotive is what I just customized, worth 1.53 million. The young face said embarrassed. A heavy locomotive worth 1.53 million. Wang Xian frowned, and some did not believe it. You can go to the official website to view, and I have a record of ordering here. The young man took out his mobile phone and opened the record. This heavy locomotive is a specially customized version, Harley flagship gliding, with a total price of 1.53 million. 153,000 may not be enough, and it is still a second-hand heavy locomotive. Wang Xian said with some sarcasm, with 6 Zhuding Zi Luo robe, the value is also 2.2 million. When the young man heard his words, his face was embarrassed. He went to the small trunk of a Harley heavy locomotive and took out a suitcase. Plus these shoes. The youth opened the box and revealed a shoe inside, Nike's Return to the Future 2, the world's limited edition of 81 pairs, worth about 700,000. Wang Xian slightly glimpsed, and some looked at the shoes with awkwardness. This is the mountain river bought and forced to force it, now. A few young people around the corner couldn't help but pump this collision, before returning to liberation. Wang Xian frowned slightly, more than 1.5 million heavy locomotives, 700,000 shoes, not as good for him. You can sell heavy locomotives, and this shoe will not lack buyers. The young man said with embarrassment, I don't have gold, and your goldfish is only worth more than 2 million. My same value is 200. Tens of thousands. Good. Wang Xian nodded and his face was not very nice. End of this chapter. Invincible Divine Dragon's Cultivation System Chapter 9, This Heavy Locomotive and Shoes. Chapter 9 This Heavy Locomotive and Shoes. This Heavy Locomotive and Shoes. Wang Xian came out of the vehicle management office and looked at the heavy locomotives and shoes in front of him. There are some rogue young people, and the goldfish is worth more than 2 million. Then he also took out more than 2 million things for compensation, a heavy locomotive, a shoe, just enough. But the better thing is, look at the flower and bird market, your goldfish should be able to sell. Wang Xianko muttered. When the people around the scene learned that several Zhuding Zi Luo robes were crushed to death, the people there were getting more and more. At that time, some people were interested in buying Zhuding Zi Luo Pao. However, due to the accident of the car accident, the other party was afraid of 2 other problems and did not dare to buy it. Then he followed the youth to the vehicle management office to transfer the heavy locomotive. In addition, the youth used some relationships to directly get him a heavy locomotive driver's license. This heavy locomotive. Wang Xian looked at it and went straight up. He will still ride the motorcycle, but this motorcycle is much more upscale. Wang Xian opens the throttle and carefully drives toward the school. Good speed. Wang Xian slightly added the throttle, and the heavy locomotive rushed out. At the time, he had a good understanding of this Harley. For heavy locomotives, the general value is hundreds of thousands, but the heavy locomotive has a feature, which can be modified and customized. It is not impossible to have a customized version of Hardar to more than 1.5 million. Harley's biggest feature is handsome, very cool, riding on it is full of masculine. Harley Moto appeared in many American movies. Driving on the road, Wang Xian can see some curiosity eyes of passers-by. Oh, this heavy locomotive is far worse than the sports car. Wang Xian's heart spits, the sports car belongs to the ironclad meat, and the heavy locomotive belongs to the meat-wrapped iron. If it falls, it will definitely not fall. For Wang Xian, who was driving the Harley heavy locomotive for the first time, he drove very slowly, but he loved his life very much. However, Wang Xian's mood today is still very happy. He found a way to make money. Shanhe, the car that just bought the hand and the shoes that are used to force it are given to this kid. This is all the assets that you saved during your study. At the door of the vehicle management office, a young man said to the gloomy mountain river. What can I do? Said the young man named Shanhe, with a calm face. The amount is also. The rest of the young people looked at him sympathetically. His family's tutor was notoriously harsh. The old man couldn't hold any sand in his eyes. He thought that he had committed some things and was directly directed by his father. I have been thrown abroad for 3 years, and it is hard to come back. If I dare to make trouble, I will definitely be sent abroad. Give a call to my sister, let her come to find herself, and don't use her to work. Put the car behind the dormitory building, Wang Xian smiled and walked toward the dormitory building with his shoes. With the ability to make money, he does not need his sister to continue working. Wang Xian walked into the dormitory, threw the shoes on the bed, took out the mobile phone, and dialed the phone of his sister. Xiao Yu. Brother, what's the matter? I am giving a mutter to class. The voice of Xiao Yu came from the phone. Brother said to you, don't work, you come to the brother here, brother made some money, enough for us to live. Wang Xian said with a smile. No brother, the muttering parents have already given me the salary ahead of time, and I am very easy to mutter the tutor. Besides, I said to Xiaomi, I went to Jiangqing together, the sound of. Wang Xian frowned slightly. Xiaomi was the girlfriend of Xiaoyu, and now her sister lives in Xiaomi's house. Both of them are admitted to Jiangqing University. Well, you don't want to save money and drink there, brother gives you some money to go, waiting for you to come to school, brother gives you a surprise. Wang Xian thought about it. No brother, I have more than 5,000 yuan now. I can't use it. Okay, I have to mutter the problem. Dudu. This girl. Wang Xian smiled and shook his head, when you arrive, my brother must give you a big gift. Wang Xian smiled and decided in his heart. If the young man, he may have more than 2 million, more than 2 million. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. He thought about it and decided to bring some of the Zhuding violet goldfish in the past for sale. At most, I will sell it again tomorrow. Otherwise, there must be some doubts. Wang Xian thought in his heart, selling once or twice is fine. If you sell it 3 times and 4 times, it will definitely attract attention. If someone causes misconduct, it will be troublesome. Wang Xian is still a more cautious person. Continue to cultivate. Wang Xianpan sat on the bed and began to cultivate the dragon. With just a dozen dragons, he can get millions of him. For the dragon, he can become a dragon and he is full of confidence in the future. In the future, he will no longer worry about a little money, and his pursuit will be higher. It was another night of cultivation. When he woke up, he looked at his own information. Name, Wang Xian. Race, Terran, can be dragon. Level 1. Dragon, 47/1000. Shentong, rule the aquarium that rules below its own level. Phagocytic organisms, phagocytic extracts. Exercise, dragon change. 40 feet of dragons, I feel that my strength has also increased. Wang Xian feels the change of the body, his face is smiling, and now he can play 7 or 8 of his former self. Go ahead and buy some goldfish. Wang Xian thought about it and looked at the shoes on the bed. I still find a time to sell it, 7 or 800,000 shoes, really. Going out of the dormitory, holding the key and walking to the Harley heavy locomotive behind the dormitory building, the corner of the mouth tilted slightly. This car is cool, if you drive this car after school, it's not too cool. Wang Xian smiled and sat in the car, walking towards the ancient street. Go to breakfast first. Into a good breakfast shop, Wang Xian went to the ancient fish shop to watch the fish shop after dinner. Buy 3 goldfish and buy another arowana. Wang Xian thought about it, he was going to transform a superb dragon fish, and finally he made a big one. The arowana cost $3,000, and the goldfish only cost 50. With 4 ornamental fish, Wang Xian returned to the dormitory and transformed it with dragon gas. The best blood-red dragon, I am no worse than the 3-year-old blood-red dragon on the internet. Wang Xian looked at the blood-red in the fish tank, exuding the lustrous blood-red dragon, and the eyes sparkled. If he can sell it, he will no longer worry about the money, and then he will cultivate the dragon. Become a dragon in the universe. End of this chapter. Invincible Divine Dragons Cultivation System Chapter 10, Selling Fish. Chapter 10 Selling Fish. Boom. On the second ring road of Jiangqing, Wang Xian rode a Harley heavy locomotive, tied with a foam box in front of him, and headed for the flower and bird market. In order to prevent yesterday's incident, he specialized in finding a solid foam box and keeping the 5 goldfish and the arowana well. With a helmet on the road, there is an unpredictable speed. However, Wang Xian did not drive the speed too fast, only about 60 km per hour. Riding on a heavy locomotive of more than 1.5 million is indeed much cooler than Wang Hai's electric car. Poor C, the electric car let me throw it to the flower and bird market yesterday. It is estimated that it is gone, but after the start of school, let you ride the brother of Harley. Wang Xian thought about it. He could already think of the excitement of Wang Hai when he saw his own Harley. The speed of the heavy locomotive is faster than that of the taxi. After 10 minutes, Wang Xian came to the door of the flower and bird market. In the eyes of the security guards, Harley was parked in the parking lot, and Wang Xian walked inside with a foam box. The people today are much less than yesterday. Wang Xian looked at the flower and bird market and saw the place where the goldfish exhibition was held at the door, and immediately walked inside. The goldfish show is located in the center of the flower and bird market. After Wang Xian entered, he found that there were about a few hundred people inside. There are billboards, introductions to various goldfish fisheries, and goldfish displayed. Wang Xian walked inward, and rows of fish tanks were neatly placed on the table. In the fish tank, there were all kinds of goldfish, which was very beautiful. In the central position, there are 2 large fish tanks, and there are only 2 or 3 goldfish in the fish tank. Wang Xian saw 2 Zhu Dingzi Luo robes inside, and he looked at the price tag next to it, 43,000. Oh, it seems that I was losing money yesterday. Wang Xian looked at the price above. His face was not good looking. He looked around and saw a goldfish with a price of 40,000 and 20,000. He looked around and came to the organizer's desk. At this time, there were 4 or 5 people sitting in front of the stage. There were middle-aged old people and a young beauty waiter. Beauty, may I ask, if I want to show my goldfish here, what do I need to do? Wang Xian asked the waiter. Well. What, you want to show the sale of goldfish? The waiter looked at him slightly and looked at his bubble box. Yes. Wang Xian nodded. If you want to display and sell on the booth, you need to get the certificate of the fishery qualification. All of our fishing grounds are strong goldfish farms. Second, we need to come up with valuable goldfish. If we meet these 2 points, I will prepare a booth for you, but if you complete the transaction, we will charge a little. The beauty waiter smiled at him. When Wang Xian heard his words, he frowned slightly. I can take out a good goldfish, but the fishery qualification proves. The goldfish farm without strength is unable to enter our exhibition. Wang Xian's words have not been finished yet, and a middle-aged person lying next to the chair directly refused. Sorry. The waiter heard a middle-aged speech and smiled apologetically. Wang Xian frowned slightly and nodded and walked toward the outside. A young man holding a foam box to get a booth. It's obvious that the owner of a small goldfish shop wants to make a big sale of goldfish, so guys don't care. Good Zhao. When Wang Xiangang left, he heard the sound coming from behind him. He shook his head without words. Forget it, since Zhu Dingzi Luo robe is so famous, I don't have to sell it in your exhibition. Wang Xian walked outside with a big foam box and looked at the door of the exhibition. Would you like to sell it here? Wang Xian thought about it. There is a lot of traffic here. You must pass by here when you enter the exhibition. And putting a box here is not a hindrance. Wang Xian smiled and placed the box directly on the roadside, then opened the lid. A blood-red arowana and 5 laurel robes appeared in the box. The 6 fish were crowded in the box, but they were very active and kept swimming. After the transformation of the dragon, they are much stronger than ordinary fish. Wang Xianyu was there, watching the pedestrians coming and going. Okay. Perhaps it was to look at Wang Xian's side and put a big foam box on the rustic, and I couldn't see the goldfish arowana inside. The passing people did not come over. Cough. Wang Xian coughed and yelled at the passers-by, sell the top goldfish arowana, everyone can come and see. Some passers-by curiously watched the young man at the door and looked at the big foam box in front of him. Walk, let's see what goldfish we sell. At this time, a beautiful woman took a young curious look and said to the youth. What to look at here, what good goldfish can be here, we go to the exhibition to buy. The young man said something impatiently. Well, let's see. The beautiful woman was a little spoiled with the arms of the youth. You are bothering, a broken stall is still a broken gold bubble to sell. What a good goldfish. The young man said with impatience, his face reluctantly walked over. Wow, it's beautiful, is this an arowana? And these goldfish, it's so beautiful. The beautiful woman walked over and squatted, her face exclaimed. The big fuss. The youth did not kneel down and did not look into the foam box. The goldfish in the exhibition are beautiful, all of them are top goldfish. Okay, let's go, it's ugly here. But I think the goldfish here is so beautiful. The beauty is obviously a layman, staring inside. There is also this dragon fish is too beautiful, I like it too much, I want to buy it, I want to buy. If you like, buy it, follow you. The young man took out his wallet directly. A very generous person said, hey, boy, how much fish in your bubble? I bought it all. Wang Xian looked up and looked at the youth wallet with some mistakes. There were about a few $1,000s in it. This made him very speechless. How? Speak to the boss, how much is it? The young man looked at Wang Xian and said impatiently. This. Wang Xian looked at him, if you have 4 or 5 million cards, we can transfer money to the bank. Wang Xian's words made the young man look awkward. He frowned and stared at Wang Xian with some anger. Boy, what are you talking about? I ask you, how much is the fish in the broken foam box? I don't have nonsense, I am telling the truth. Wang Xian saw some curious customers attracted by the words of the two men, with a smile on his face. 2 more every day, definitely not less and more broken, seeking collection. End of this chapter.